outsource, basically, they would have an inside person and an outside personnel. The outside person would be firm that we would request proposals to. We'd have defined duties that we would shoot out to different firms, such as Yankee and other firms, to perform the reporting and reconciling of accounts.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that the reports we get are accurate.
Okay.
And that's been the issue up to this point, where things aren't reconciled. A lot of the transaction, when they come in and clean the books up to do the audit, all the EFTs, electronic income coming in and coming out, bank drafts electronically aren't recorded. So they have to come in and spend a couple weeks making sure everything balances out before they can even start the audit process to make sure what's recorded in the BS&A accounting system is accurate. So there's.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So you're saying we'll have our accounting firm that we have right now will be our outside source?
That's an idea.
Mm-hmm.
They will not perform the function because they do the audit,
Mm-hmm.
but there's several firms around the
Okay.
Tri-County area
Mm-hmm.
that perform this type of duty for municipalities and townships that don't have a, per se, full-time treasurer's position. And the other good point about that is it's good to have another set of eyes on the books and the transactions too.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have your internal person cutting checks and entering the transactions into the city's accounting software, and then the accounting firm or whoever you would hire, the outside source, would come in and reconcile the bank accounts to the accounting system we have, make sure they equal.
Okay.
And then from there generate the reports, knowing from that point those reports are accurate. And it'll make it a lot easier going into the audit phase, knowing that everything's reconciled all the way up to the point of starting the audit, so.
Mm-hmm. And this would obviously cost us more than what we're probably doing now.
Well, yes and no. Yankee's doing it similar for $300 a month for other places performing that
Okay.
outsource function. Internally, I think you guys still have somebody at the window taking in tax receipts, water bills, in that. So whether we name it that person a treasurer or assistant treasurer or something, whatever, you still have to have a friendly face at the window, to do that and to cut the checks, to perform accounts payable functions and the billings and those type of things that still have to be done. So whether that's a mix between the clerk treasurer, and I'm still a proponent of keeping all those positions separate, because of accounting standards. Just having the proper separation is always good. And that's the recommendation, of course, of the financial people too, obviously. But hiring a person with some background in, which will be probably hard to find in accounting, more or less a bookkeeper with some bookkeeping experience with the BS&A software that we have here in the city. That's going to be the hard part, to try and find a person like that, so you don't have to go through the training process to get them geared up to using city software. He did mention there was one guy that used to work for them, actually lives in Standish now, and he had some experience with that software. And he was actually the name come up. He was the financial director over at the school, Brad Mason. Mentioned his name, and he gave that name to Don too. So he was asking what Dave told me, and I think Don could confirm that. Don got in contact with him, and he was asking to perform that function at $25 an hour. So that's the number he threw out. So if you take that plus that ballpark figure of $300 a month for outside accounting firm to perform the reconciliation part of this, to keep our books straight, that's where the budget would be. So to say part-time, at 25 is $50,000 a year full-time, so you still have where you're at with hours with a part-time person at the window, assistant treasurer, somewhere in that, 20 to 25 range, or 18 to 20 range, plus the 300 a month. So I think you're still in the ballpark from these figures she just gave me. Treasurer, which budget at 16, which is $32,000 a year, and clerk same. So taking that mixture, you're still in our budgetary parameter. And but you got more security in my eyes, or word I'm trying to get at. Another set of eyes on this,
Right.
and things are done on a timely basis.
Right.
So knowing the reports we get at the council are accurate, and we can make decisions that these things are golden, and to make decisions upon. So those are the three concepts. Craig, I'm sorry, do you want an agenda?
No, I'm good.
Good.
Thank you.
Yep. If that sounds like an idea that we can, present to council to go upon, I think that would be a good approach. City manager's position, getting back to that too. I don't know if I sent you those links to those ads that are in MML. And I think it's a little overwhelming what was posted in there, because I don't think that's the concept going forward on these positions. Dawn had this, when she was hired in, she was the treasurer, and she presented the idea, well, I can perform both these functions. So at that point in time, I think Jason made the decision. I don't remember that coming to council, but to combine those positions, and whether that worked out on a temporary basis, I guess that was the theory to work upon. If that was gonna, after a first year, to see how that reviewed out, and that review would never happen, to see where that came out after the audit report, and our last audit report showed a lot of discrepancies and performing in that function. So having the time to do it is the other issue, and having it done proper, and not to say that she doesn't do stuff proper. I'm not pointing the finger at that thing, but it's a key position for the city. In my eyes, the treasurer, is everything's got to be accurate. And but anyway, getting back to the city manager's approach to recruit. The stuff I sent you was used in the last two city manager searches, and I just updated them. I sent them to Dawn probably a day after our meeting, and at that same point she had put in, they added the MML already, from my understanding. So, but if we use, kind of simplify revise the one on the MML anyway, and use the parameters that was presented to the committee here, I think that'd be a better approach as far as advertising the position. And I talked to the MML, there's no problem in going in there and editing the ad itself. So, but anyway, those forms passed along were used in the recruitment last time to hire Bill. That was prior to us being on council. That was hired by he was hired by the prior council, and the only hire we done as far as the council was for Dawn. So, but those forms were used for the last two, and they were designed by the search committee, which was made up, and that's the other idea to put forth, whether we want to sit up, be that search committee, or bring on in some citizens. The prior two searches, we had 2 to 3 people from the community sit on the search committee, and they actually performed the review, screened all the applicants, and then did the interview process, and then scored the interviews based on points and questions, such as the appraisal process, and scored them, and then brought those recommendations to either to our committee going forward, that is, or the last ones, they went, you know, straight to council with their findings and recommendations, so. But that committee was made up of 2 to 3 citizens and 2 to 3 council people. And at that point, Yvonne sat in on the last one, since we didn't have a city manager. So she was the administration rep at that point. But I had talked to those people that were on there before. Jennifer Drenzik, she was on there, and then Carol Maida, and I did talk to Jason. Jason was on there before too, and he said he would sit on that committee too if we desired to do it. So all those three,
That sounds like a great idea,
all those,
having,
all those three are clear to do it, and to, if you want me to set it up, coordinate it with Dawn. Going forward, that, you know, I think that would be a good approach. We were just dealing with a lack of time too. So
crunch time.
I don't know if we can wait till, you know, the next meeting, at least to set these parameters in place, or set up the committee, you know, with approval of, you know, talking to Dawn. And the mayor.
Yeah, I think the search committee is a wonderful idea.
And in the process of doing that, I've spoke to reps at MML, and
Sorry.
they referred me to asking about if we have a hard time finding a good candidate. You know, they have a source or an arm through the MML for interim managers positions, and there's a list of 5, 6 names which I contacted yesterday. All those names on that list, that they actually certify that these people are very capable people to come in and work in the interim.
Mm-hmm.
One did call me back yesterday. He resides in Gladwin and has a lot of experience in city management. So he sent me his resume, and I got it here. But
So it wouldn't be anything that we would contact Bay County for assistance, or?
well, I don't know who Bay County would throw at us, you know,
Yeah.
in at what capacity, you know. I think like the last time Andrew came through, when Bill resigned and filled that void until we hired somebody.
Mhm.
I really don't feel we want to rush hiring the permanent person
Right.
until you find the right candidate.
Right, right.
And just, you still have to have somebody here, because, you know, I don't want to be on the window, or you guys, just to fill the void and leaving Amy with all that.
Right.
If Dawn's vacates earlier than what she said, you don't know what's gonna happen, but we just need somebody else there, you know?
Right, right.
And with the expertise to, you know, to manage the city at that point too, so. But I think throwing that, both approaches out there, you know, look at the feasibility of hiring an interim person in here at this point. To, you know, say if we don't find something concrete, you know, within the next month,
30 day, yeah.
or 30 days out of Dawn leaving, you know, to get, you know, recommending, look at getting an interim manager in here, you know, to fill that void, so. And the person I talked to too is actually looking for a full-time job, so he could be the, this is all theory now.
Right.
So you come and be an interim, and if he works out for us, we like him, so on and so forth. that
Right.
He would step into the full-time position, so you don't have to train 2 people at also in the same process. So if that sounds good, or consensus, you know, we could pursue that too.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if, whether we have to work on a consensus here, or, you know, or make a motion. I'm not sure which way we want to accomplish this, you know, the concepts here.
Well, I will make a motion on hiring a city manager prior to hiring a clerk.
I'll support. I don't know.
Kind of.
feasibility, looking at all the interim
Yes.
ideas.
Right. Do we need to have a motion on gathering a committee for that? Or is that something we're gonna do through council?
Well, why don't we do the recommendation by motion, since we're doing it this way? And then, we can work on that at the same time by motion of the committee. This is our recommendation. Okay, so we have a motion to, make priority to hire a city manager position before filling the treasurer's and clerk position. And also in the same process to look at the feasibility of, hiring an interim manager based on the timeline if needed, correct?
Correct.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, and if you wanna entertain a motion on the search committee for the city manager?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we obtain a committee, a search committee, to hire our city manager.
Review and actually screen,
Screen review and.
interview,
present.
and present recommendations.
I'll support it.
You want further input on that, made up of residents and council members? Or committee-
Yes.
Committee and combination of residents?
I think the 3 residents and 2 council sounds appropriate. Now, will that be something we're gonna put a recommendation out into the journal, or how will we promote to find a committee?
Yeah, we could do that. I'm just thinking from the time frame. Not sure on the response you get back.
Mhm.
And like I said, I had talked to those 3 already,
Mhm.
and I'm pretty, confident in all 3 of them myself anyway. But you guys can discuss if you're not, then, try and find some other ones to put out too.
So you said Jason,
Carol,
Carol,
Maida,
and,
and Jennifer.
oh, yes. I couldn't remember who you said. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. And they've already done it, so they know what protocol is for that committee.
Right.
Jason, Jennifer, and Carol Knight, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
they were all in the last 2 searches.
Oh, last 2, okay.
Yeah. And the council reps, I think, 2 of us from this committee would be ideal. I guess I'll talk to the mayor whether he wants to sit on it too. So, we can have up to 3 people on there without having to worry about the Open Meeting Act, so. What's your thoughts?
I think, yeah, it's a good idea. I would talk to.
More the merrier, but you don't wanna get too big,
Right, yeah, you don't wanna scare people off by having 20 people
Yeah.
staring them down.
Well, most of the management interviews I've been involved with on both sides of the table, they've mostly been that size, 6 people or more or less.
Mhm.
One was larger, that's pretty intimidating, but anyway.
Well, I would be willing to help on that committee if need be.
Okay. I would too, obviously. alternate if
I can be an alternate, I'm on a lot of committees right now,
Yeah,
that I'm having a
gotcha.
hard
Gotcha.
time working a full-time job.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, and I'm just going into my Christmas season too, which I won't have a lot of hours
Yeah.
to spend on with the business, so. I'll talk to Joe too, so, you know,
Okay.
probably the max of 3 on there, so
Mhm.
between the Marcy, myself, and another, you know, floating person would be ideal.
Mhm.
All right, so you wanna make that re-motion?
So I'm making a motion for the search committee for city manager, correct?
Yep.
That will involve Jason Brazo, Carol Maida, Jennifer DeLorge, Brian Saka, Lucy Ford, alternate Becky Coyer,
And for the role of search, interview, and present recommendations to the council.
correct. Thank you for finishing that.
I'll support that motion.
I was just in the hole, but I don't wanna go too far without mistake coming through, but it looks like the damage may have came from the neighbors. I don't know who did the back over, but they may have.
All right, any further
May
discussion?
have punctured our line.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. All right, well, that takes care of pretty much that.
Thank you.
Items A, B, and C. New business audit status. I talked to Dave this morning.
Mhm.
Once again, we kind of discussed what was happening there. Just trying to reconcile the cash accounts to equal what's in the accounting system right now, so they equal before they can actually start the formal audit. So that's where they're at right now, and he said they're pretty close on getting that accomplished. Grant opportunity. Did I pass that latest one to you guys? There's another one. It just came through, and I shot it out to our engineers, and he actually called me back right away.
I don't remember seeing that.
I don't either, that's what I'm trying to look.
Here it is.
Thank you.
It's called the Infrastructure and Resiliency Announcement Notice, but it's through the MEDC, and it's basically geared to us, City of Pinconning. The criteria is, you know, that we're a moderate to low income community, which we are, and the funds available are anywhere from 500,000 to 1.7 million. And the deadlines are applications due by the 14th. So anyway, I talked to the engineer. They've been working on the infrastructure grant to upgrade all the water and sewer lines.
Mhm.
We had a meeting in August, July, August with them. So they're seeking out grants to perform all that function, upgrade everything. That's all televised now. We know where the problems are to
Mhm.
upgrade the water and sewer lines. So I shot this to him, and he says, a little small to do that project, the full project, but there's a piece where this may fit in, is upgrade the water meters for the city.
Mhm.
And there's new stuff out right now where everything can be read right inside the office. And it'll inform if there's leaks. So basically, it reduces the labor part of meter reading. You don't have to get in your car any longer and go out. Actually, our meters right now, they actually have to go close to the house.
Right.
They don't have to go in any longer, but they scan it from outside. The new meters, these meters he was talking about, they can be performed by a person in the office. So he thinks that would qualify, and he's gonna get some costs and get a meeting together with administration here. see if it's feasible and what the cost would be, so. So something positive here that may happen.
And it's not a matching grant where the city?
Nope.
Okay.
And the other two grants that were possibilities that were presented at council, the one with the financial distressed cities, I think we're at the point of, we only, at least in my eyes, we only qualify on one of the criteria there.
Mhm.
And I think that said we had to be qualified under two, so I don't know if that would be helpful to us, but when the engineers come in, we'll have them take a look at that too. And we did get awarded the casino matching funds, I think that was $30,000.
That we got from the casino.
Correct, and that's for infrastructure.
That was the 2% from Tuesday?
2% match, yeah.
Or it was, I don't
The
know.
last, yeah,
Last week?
last week. Maybe it was Tuesday,
It's Friday.
Friday.
Friday, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yep. So that, of course, that's always a positive.
Yes.
You get too accustomed to that one, but, yeah, there's a little more background on that one, but nothing was submitted, my understanding from the city, so they earmarked the 30,000 just for infrastructure on our behalf, so that's what I was told
Mhm.
by a source.
Good.
Any other new business? Oh, sorry, when I go back to recruiting for the city manager, we did set up just a targeted email account for applications that funnel through,
Mhm.
and that was employment at cityofpinconning.org,
Yeah.
and that was set up by Sam, so those could go into that account, and any one of us can review those. Typically, right now, they're going into Don's Yahoo account, which
Mhm.
isn't a really good secure account, and of course, we don't have access, so it's got to filter to Don through that Yahoo account and then distribute to us. So I was thinking everybody on that search committee would have access to that email account,
Mhm.
you know, to pull up the
Right.
applications that come
To
through,
review.
so the time basis, you wouldn't be a lagging, you know, and getting the information out to everybody either, so that's what's in the ad at this point, would be using that email account to send all the resumes to or applications to. And just from the budgetary standpoint, you know, just going back to these positions, and actually I brought this to you before we move on to new business. This is actually the approved budget, and I just highlighted the city manager's position currently, which is a 50,000 a year, plus the benefits of gets the position up to 62.5 basically. Treasurers, which is also performed by Dawn, was paid $12,000 with a few, you know, the FICA in there, so that's another 13. So the combination of those two, you know, we're up to the 70, almost $80,000 level. The clerk's budgeted at 33.5 salary with a total benefit package of 44. You know, so it's pretty much in line with the figures, you know, she gave us with those positions. So, you know, in the recruiting process, you know, we just have to keep in mind what the budget's set at right now currently. And we do have, obviously there's gonna be some leeway depending on who comes through, you know.
Mhm.
So what we're advertising in the past is qualifications or salary to be determined based on qualifications.
Right.
So I copied these off for you, just so you know know where the budget's at too. All right, is there any other new business? Unfinished business, I'll just stream through this stuff. Review the pilot program. If you saw that, what I emailed you guys. So, Michelle came through with the new proposal. It was about a month ago, a month and a half ago at this point. But they did streamline their proposal to they upped their payment on lieu taxes from 12% to 13.1, I think it was. So it's a little, obviously, more benefit to the city, the newest proposal. And they also said that, they would look at a tax abatement scenario too versus the payment on lieu taxes. So I think, going forward, maybe in January, we got a little more time. Their deadline now is April 1st, so
Yeah, I seen that.
if we could work on this in January, February with them, so they have a good lead time to put the proposal together. Personally, I think it's a worthwhile project, keep that
Oh, I do agree.
place going and showing the city has commitment to it is always a good thing. But, our revenue stream, we gotta protect that too, so.
Yes.
Oh, here it is. Okay, April 1st. Yeah, they're at, new proposal at 13.26%, and the original offer was 12.32. So, a little more, revenue to the city on the current proposal. I really have nothing on B right now. I think as we go through our budgetary process, we need to earmark that stuff. Next month's council meeting, the DDA will be presenting the plan, development plan, and it includes a lot of city projects in that plan too, which are targeted from the near, mid, and long term to fund. So it's a good idea, to look at that next council meeting to incorporate. We generally look at the ideas with input from the city and include those projects in the DDA plan so we can piggyback it off each other, to get things done. So I think they'll work hand in hand with each other in the long term. I don't have anything on C. That was one note from the auditor too, that budget updates, adjustments need to be done periodically versus at the end of the year, as they are now. So typically what needs to happen is, if there's an adjustment in the budget where you're gonna spend more, for example, than what's budgeted, you have to make that adjustment now, or the city manager requests that budget line item be adjusted upwards or downwards or whatever adjusted, and that's passed by council on a monthly basis or whenever the recommendation comes through. So that was another area where, he recommended there needs to be improvement, so. Item D, maybe Laura knows from our past couple meetings, F&P, we had discussions with Don to throw out ideas to optimize expenses and any income revenue stream ideas to increase our revenue streams. We discussed it, threw a few ideas out, not really a lot of results at this point. So, but I moving forward, as we move forward to our budget process, which will start in January, we really have to target what we need to do based on what our fund balance will be. As a result, our audit will know accurately where we're at, from the last fiscal year. And need to know where we have to go going forward.
Mhm.
And we don't have a lot of room in the income part of it. Revenue streams are pretty fixed at this point. So that only leaves expenses to make adjustments in. So it's, depending on how the audit comes out, it's gonna be a lot of work and maybe some tough decisions, you know, going forward to the new budget year. Just so you're prepped on it. And, you know, at that point in time, having another fresh set of eyes on things too, meaning a new city manager may aid in the process also with some fresh ideas. I don't know if we had that ready to serve abatement policy discussed, and I don't think it ever went to recommendation, ever went to council, you remember? Or was it?
I don't think it did.
Remember
No.
hearing that, no.
I think that's, it was still sitting with Don to create the policy, and I don't think it ever came back as yet. And that was Becky I think that was, we had a property owner that come in and requested, they bought an adjacent lot, and it had a house on it, they demolished the house, but now they're getting charged 2 ready to serve charges.
Oh, so you want to combine it into one property?
Yeah, so they wanted to get rid of the other
Abatement.
ready to serve charge that they're paying on, because they combined the parcels at this point. And, so they wanted us to remove the ready to serve charge on the adjacent parcel that they acquired. So that's what we were trying to,
I think what we recommended or discussed at that time was having, they would have to pay for the removal
of the line,
of the
you
line.
know, up to the city shut off.
Yeah. And because if the line is there,
It's considered an extra lot, right?
Active line.
An active, yeah, okay.
so.
So I guess we'll table that till we
Mhm.
hear otherwise. If I really have nothing, I mean, we've been discussing all these positions right now, so unless you guys have anything else you wanna discuss on that. Item G, employee handbook, since back to Bill, when I came on council, I'm just so used to being in the corporate world where these things are structured so well that employee handbooks are the Bible for hiring in and continuously on the personnel line, that the city is really lacking in that area. Creating those employee handbook with all the policies on typical things on how to function as an employee and an employer, both sides of the fence is, defined in that handbook. And I think going forward, still be a great thing for the city to create, either with the new person coming in that has expertise in that area, do it in-house, or looking at it from going down the road to getting some assistance to creating one for the city. Because I think it would alleviate a lot of headaches we see hear about on the personnel line.
And now a lot of other cities have these handbooks.
Oh, yeah.
I do like the idea of a handbook simply because it's kind of law and order.
Right.
you know.
And it would incorporate, just like the things we just passed, social media, those would all be part of it, whatever, money handling. It encompasses a whole bunch of stuff. And it just sets up front how the employee is expected to function and how the employer is expected to function to the employee, so, and the lines of authority are defined, so. So there's a little confusion on how things should happen, and maybe in the budgetary process, well, hopefully we have a new city manager by then, knowing that if that person has expertise in that side of the coin, they could set that as a priority going down the road to create in-house,
Is that something that we could look at?
Yeah,
Kind
there's
of,
examples in the MML.
okay, that's, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's full of a lot of good
A lot of
information.
good resources, yeah.
Mhm.
And if you don't see it there, you can call up, saying that you want personnel stuff. Call the contact person there, and they'll actually go out and search other communities and find you what you want, at least some samples,
They're very good at
you know.
answering questions, calling you right back with answers if they don't know, like he said,
Okay.
they'll do a search, yeah.
Item H, I mean, we're there, we get a report, but as I told you, what the auditor says, it's not accurate because it's not reconciled our bank accounts. And that's straight from the auditor's mouth.
Mhm.
So, take it as you are, but, you know, going into that treasurer's position, if we work on that concept of having an outside, inside person, you know, to have that foresight eyes on things to get accurate reports for us, that, I think that'd be an ideal position for us all to be in, you know.
Mhm.
Item I, this is other areas of discussion, I don't have anything at this point, if anybody else has anything they wanna present.
Mm.
Nothing?
No, I don't have anything at this time.
Okay.
No, well, this isn't really finance and personnel, probably, the Santa Claus. We're doing that here, or are we, can we discuss that?
Yeah, I think that'd fall on somebody else, but go ahead and discuss it, I don't care. I mean, people using the building, you talking about?
Yeah. So, I'm just wondering if that's indeed what we're doing.
I think last,
I'm on
my
that.
understanding from the last council is that Santa was gonna be here, right?
Right,
Is that your understanding?
right,
Use City Hall and then filter out one door, the back door, to go see the reindeer, is that what
right,
you're thinking?
right,
Yeah,
okay, I just didn't know.
But it's been since changed as of yesterday.
okay.
Am I allowed to discuss that at finance and personnel meeting?
Well, it's open comment right now, discussion.
City Chambers was double booked. Toys for Tots would be here same time, same day. And then the committee, we walked around downtown yesterday. Downtown is beautiful at night. I know last year Dawn had mentioned some safety concerns with all the children coming across the train tracks.
Mhm.
So right at the, Santa's gonna be brought in by the fire department down Kaiser, in front of the library, be dropped off in front of the CenturyLink building. That's where everything's gonna be set up. The reindeer are gonna be set up at that empty lot that the library owns.
Okay.
So, Dawn's gonna have the DPW put out the barricades the morning of, so it'll be closed off to traffic. There's not gonna be any safety concerns for the kids to be walking around by the library and crossing over to see Santa. Library gave permission also for Santa to come over and look at his reindeer, because it's not their Santa, so
Right,
he can't be on property at the same time. So, I think we thought it would be a lot safer for the kids just to kind of stay on that main road. I guess a couple of the banks may also come in and put up tables and hand out things. There's gonna be a mailbox for letters to Santa.
Is there gonna be this is a stupid question, a tent shelter, just in
that's
case
what
it
I
rains
was
for
wondering.
the kids?
We're
You never
looking
know.
at, I think, snow in the forecast that day.
I mean, some overhead where Santa's sitting, you know.
No, they're going to have, like, these trees are gonna be like set around him to kind of block the weather, hopefully, like if it's windy or anything.
Well, chamber, we have maybe we can get at least a chamber shelter.
We're gonna, I know a lot of people are gonna be setting up the day of, because none of this is gonna be able to go out there beforehand.
Right.
Now, is
So-
there any concerns we should have with liability insurance, or, I mean, does council have to approve? I don't,
Well, where you're saying now, that's off property, so that's not, nothing with us. And now, if Toys or Tots are in here,
Right.
I don't know.
so, well, what I'm saying, if someone's walking their old granny across the sidewalk and they slip and fall, does that fall back on the city? I don't know, that's,
It's on public property, yes. Yeah. But that's what the sidewalks are there for, you know, you just take a risk at that one.
Yeah, we came in and talked with Don a little bit about it yesterday. It's still gonna be, it's the city sidewalk, it'll be on the city sidewalk, it'll still be considered a city function or event, however you wanna look at that, I suppose.
is that already been published? Do you-
It was, the lady at the library said she had handed out some flyers, new ones were made this morning. I don't know if, I believe they're gonna be redistributed over at the library.
What was the date on that one?
It's next Wednesday, was that
The fourth?
December 4th.
December
the fourth? Yep, from
Yeah.
5 PM to 7 PM. And then that way, Toys for Tots can, because they're such a wonderful program, I wouldn't want them to be shoved in a corner somewhere and we're shut, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Then that way it works out great for everyone involved.
Yeah, perfect. And another area could get, food pantry here too at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
When you get the crowd, there was quite a crowd last year.
That's what I heard. Dawn had said up to 1,000 kids came through last year.
So now, if the weather's bad, what are your intentions? What do you
That's
have
gonna be
planned?
where it's at. Hopefully the weather's not bad. I mean, the reindeer are gonna be outside through the library anyway,
Right,
rain or shine or snow.
right, it's just being out there that
Mhm.
long.
Yeah,
Well, if you're assisting or, let me know, so I can talk to Josh about getting the, chamber shelter. You know,
okay,
ways to cover Santa up, or where the kids are walking up to greet Santa.
all right. Thank you.
And I don't know, can I ask Craig a question?
Sure.
Has that been printed in the journal?
What do you mean? The
The fourth?
the flyer we got said City Hall, so that's what we printed. Paper's out today. We printed a day early, and
So-
because it's next Wednesday, we'll put it on our Facebook next week, the change, but it's on the entry signs too. We got I don't know if you noticed, Brian, the one on the north end of town finally got hooked up,
Yeah, last
And-
week.
and it's on all three of those, so I won't have time today, but I'll change it on those tomorrow. Just say downtown and the library instead of City Hall and the library. But, you know, the ones who already know where it is, or based on what they got already,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll have to post something up here
Mm-hmm.
to direct people.
I think a new flyer was gonna be brought and dropped off today, because Dawn didn't have one posted up here yesterday when we came in. So there can be a current one. I think the schools may have distributed them. I know the library said she did.
Yeah, that's who ours came from.
Was it the library?
Yeah, I've had that for
Yeah.
a couple weeks,
Yeah.
we've been printing.
Okay.
I think with all the decorations and the trees lit up over there, they're, like you said, Craig, they'll figure it out.
People will figure it out, I mean, once the crowd starts moving that way.
Yep. Is that to put a candy cane drill all the way
Yeah.
around?
Yeah, I don't think you'll need. Kids will see the red suit and
Yep.
go.
Yep.
That'll be attracted. I was just looking animal policy, but have we heard any more on the progress of the dog run, dog park?
I know they had the fundraisers, I don't know what they collected last week and a half ago.
I don't know, is that part of our committee or is that Parks and Recreation, which I
Yeah.
wanted to talk to you about after this, because I know you're not on it anymore, but I need help.
Parks and Rec, that would be falling under hospice, unless we're talking about money. So, I guess from a point, it would cover both if
Okay.
we're doing any fun matching with them.
Mhm.
So, or if the request comes for the city to help, so.
Okay.
All right, any other old business, unfinished business? Public comment? Motion to adjourn.
I will second that motion to adjourn.
How about first it?
Well, first the emotion. I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I will support that motion to adjourn the meeting.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Time is 12:59.
All right.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Now, you were chair of Parks and Rec.
Yeah. From
I-
January till now.
I'm currently in Clueless. Any suggestions?
I'll email you our last meeting agenda now,
Okay.
and some notes.
No, I don't want to
Becky,
pile on.
yeah, Becky was on that, and then,
Yeah.
basically, we walked, our last meeting we had, we walked everything.
Mhm.
We met here, and had a little discussion, then we walked,
Park,
Eyeball.
nature trail, yep.
yeah, eyeballed everything, the condition it was in. At the park, as far as what I see efficient is, around the concession stand, we did have that camera system there, and they're all shot out. So there is no security there, you know, the city's been saying everybody's damaging the bathrooms where there's no
Right.
control. Um, Ball fields, this year has probably been the worst, you know, as far as, the league maintains them up to the end of the season, and then the city takes over. And that didn't happen very well.
So with that, with the league taking care of them, they take care of them only during the season,
They prep them and take care of through the,
but they
in
really,
June.
this year they didn't, it seems anyway, they just look rough.
Yeah, well, thereafter, they, you know, they weren't maintaining game field particularly. I'm old baseball coach and used the field many years, so it saddens me to see the shape it's in, frankly.
So do you think that's something that we can talk to about the league, about them taking care of it even after the season?
Yeah,
I mean, I know we probably aren't supposed to discuss this right now, are we? I don't.
well, I mean, that's
I'm
the
sorry.
idea to put forth. Usually what happens, you know, because they're all volunteer too. I know after the season, some of the guys and coaches would come through maybe in late August and chew up the field again,
Mhm.
just so the weeds wouldn't grow.
Mhm.
So I guess just having a good rapport with the youth league.
I think it would be great for the youth to have to help.
Yeah,
I mean, simply because it's their sport.
well, they
You
do
know,
help
it's-
on the cleanup and the shutdown. But once again, you know, getting volunteers
Yeah,
to
I know,
maintain
I
the
used
stuff
to
is.
volunteer in soccer.